When things at the lodge are too much, I love coming to this spot to just sort of, I don't know, melt away for a while. It's lovely here, isn't it? I've been from one end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy. I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're absolutely right. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot. That's actually why I asked you to meet me up here. I was hoping we could talk about something very important. I know you are. Just give me a moment. I have a lot I need to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. Don't get me wrong. Compared to Sona, I've had it easy. I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. Are you sure? For all we know, it's in my nature to keep people at arm's length. Or worse, push them away. Yeah, sure. And who wants to take on that responsibility? You? Wait a moment. That's exactly what you're saying, isn't it? Sorry, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts. From things you've said in the past, it's obvious you want to have a serious relationship. You want to become close. So, if you're willing to take that leap of faith with someone like me, then I'm ready to do the same. You're something truly special. You know that? You've helped me conquer my self-doubt, my confidence, hell, everything. For the first time in my life, I feel complete. And with you by my side, I'm convinced that feeling will last forever. You're the best thing that's happened to me in my life. I love you. Always. So, what's new with you today? I received a message from my mother a few days ago. She's returned from another one of her sightseeing cruises. Yeah, you know, one of those luxury liner journeys that shows off binary stars, gas nebulas, asteroid fields. Pretty photogenic stuff. Apparently, it's my mother's new favorite pastime. Oh, of course. I'm sorry. We never discussed this, did we? The thing is, my mother and I don't talk very much. We're not estranged or anything of the sort, we're just far apart. Sure, when you're younger. But as soon as you get older and they begin controlling your life, that's when you need to strike out on your own. Oh, I'm certain they felt they were doing the right thing. You see, both of my parents were diplomats working under the flag of the UC Administrative Division. After I completed my basic education, they signed me up for a one-year apprenticeship in their department, without bothering to ask. It's the governmental arm of the United Colonies. You know, the politicians, the diplomats, the ambassadors. Imagine having to spend most of your career hovering behind a desk. Oh, I can't even fathom anything more boring. Look, I was 18 years old, fresh out of school, and I idolized my parents. I trusted them. I'm certain they felt they were doing what was best for their daughter. Who was I to argue? Wanted isn't the right word. Demanded would be more appropriate. For my apprenticeship, I was sent to Sidonia. My job consisted of drafting political policies and arbitrating trade disputes. The silver lining of the job was that it allowed me to spend time exploring every square inch of Mars. I was swallowed by it. Months before the apprenticeship ended, I dumped my diplomatic certification and joined the UC Navy. Of course, my parents didn't approve. We had a huge argument that resulted in all ties being severed between us. Yes, I was proud of myself. For a while. You see, my father was killed during the opening shots of the Colony War. I returned to Jemison for the funeral and reunited with my mother. After that, we vowed to stay in touch. Aren't you sweet? Always concerned with how I'm feeling. That's why I fell in love with you. Your smile, your caring. It brightens even my darkest days. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. All this talk of family, it makes me wonder where our own relationship stands. You mean that? You'd do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this moment and still, I don't know what to say. Yes, yes, of course, yes. I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. I have some thoughts about how we should move forward. You know, I used to dream about finding the love of my life. And here you are. All I ever needed was you, right here beside me. Hey there. Glad to see you again. I do? You must have read my mind. Only if it's one of your deepest, darkest secrets. How is it that you always know exactly what to say? Meeting you was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me. Leaving? Oh, I see how it is.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated.
I wonder if any discovery reports have come in while we were away.
You ready to head out? Okay. We'll meet you on board your ship. Talk more when we get there. Once we land on Aquila, it's gonna be you and me. So if you want to do any freewheeling before then, Cora and I will just be riding passenger.
Vasco, we haven't run a deep dive.
Back, eh? How's it going?
I do not know.
Hope we can talk
sweetie.
later.
What did you call me?
I did not formally address you, honey.
Vasco, can you repeat what you just said?
I did not formally address you,
Hi.
handsome.
Let me just run a couple of tests.
All right, we're here. You ready? Because once we get started, I'm gonna be riding your tail till this is over. She stays with the ship, usually. Got a few more years to go before I let her swill whiskey in some backwater bar. There's something you should know up front. I'm a Co. As in Solomon Co., first man on Aquila. That tale I mentioned before, the one I think is connected to an artifact, it's something of a family legend. After Planetfall, Solomon spent years mapping Aquila. And he found a tiny little patch of nothing on his sensors. The kind of nothing an artifact produces. He called it the Empty Nest. Said it was a place even the wildlife of Aquila wouldn't go. Yeah, sorry. Thought you were just being polite, not mentioning it at all. A lot of people who don't know me assume my last name is Ko because the name's so damn popular in the Freestar Collective. Thanks to Solomon. Once they find out I'm part of the Legacy, things get complicated. So I try not to advertise it. Yeah, and the Kos have been coasting on that for 10 generations now. Solomon's always a larger-than-life figure if you read the histories, but if you just listen to a few recordings of the man, he was simple. Just wanted to keep moving forward. Because you'll find a whole lot of nothing. Gravitational anomalies are a little hard to pick up in an area with tons of starship traffic. Not to mention all the electronics from the city, and security scramblers that the Freestar or smugglers out on the frontier put down. Solomon's maps are locked up tight in the local gal bank. We'll be heading there.
Important or not, I'm ready to listen. Happy to listen. Take care of yourself.
Here, this is for you. Well, I see your parents didn't skimp on your P's and Q's. I spotted it on our last planetary foray. All part of the service. Hey, I'm gonna pick things up one way or the other. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Who knows? Check in with me now and again and I might find more.
I had a friend. He got some weird alien.
People joke. Say those Baroons.
Aquila City. Feels like I spent half my life trying to get out of this place.
Some kind of celestial being.
All right. The family has a few different deposit boxes secured in here, so let's look around. Here's a copy of the key. Okay, now remember, Solomon was from an earlier generation, so it's not going to be on a slate. Big bundles of paper is what we're after. All right, let's see. Oh, no. Jacob. Of course that old mule saw this coming. He's just a bitter old man, interfering in what's none of his business. There we do. I was hoping to avoid the estate when we landed. Cora's gonna be so mad. Because I told her we wouldn't have time to check in with her. Look, I was trying not to do this, okay? We really gotta do this. Had to pull that one out, did you? You're not wrong. All right, fine. He's my dad, okay? We're not exactly on friendly terms. He probably figured I'd come for the maps at some point. Got ahead of me. Family business just wasn't something I wanted to get into, you know? God, that's the worst part. They're thick as thieves. Last thing I need is Jacob in her life. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, well, sorry I'm such a pain about it. No forgiveness between me and my old man. It's, co-tradition. All right, shall we?
Nobody's allowed outside the city walls after nightfall. For their own safety. I'm just saying, my family was on the...
That's the Rock, Ranger Central. Not a bad bar, too.
Harley walked instead of running.
If I get called on one more drunken disorder.
Well, well. Sam Coe finally decides to darken our doorstep again.
You know why I'm here.
Oh? And what's that? You come to your senses? Realize where you ought to be for once?
I ain't asking again.
You ain't asked once. Let's hear it. I want you to say the words about what's more important to you than family.
Okay, this was a mistake.
The only mistake I'm seeing here is you. Bringing your Constellation lackey here instead of my granddaughter. Come to help Sam loot his ancestry? You're not getting those maps. Full stop. There's only one place a co ought to be. And it ain't out there in the Starfield doing Lord knows what. Putting our future at risk.
I got just as much right to those maps as anyone else in this family.
That's exactly right, Sam. We all share Solomon's legacy. Only some of us are around to live up to it, and some of us aren't.
All right, that's enough. Come on, let's you and I talk. In private.
Welcome home, Sam. Make your visit short, okay? It's what you do.
It's good to be out and about. Lives get stuffy sometimes. Give me a sec. All right, let's talk options. No. I mean, this is no place for her, okay? The less time she spends with Jacob, the better. Yeah, like I said before, they're thick as thieves. Can you imagine what that bitter old mule would do to her head if she hung around more? Damn it. Fine. We'll go get her. If there's any other options, I'd appreciate doing those first.
What do you want? Constellation? You mean besides the fact that you're some independent group that doesn't know where your loyalties lie? Or are you referring to the fact that my granddaughter lives in your clubhouse rather than in her family home? Well, that's not your decision, is it? It's co-property by birthright. It stays here. You really believe that, don't you? You think I'm not trying to help him? Can't believe I'm saying this. But if it'll get you out of my hair, then fine. You can have the maps. They're in the other room, here. Key.
Let's see if we can find the empty nest. Alright, let me think. The way I heard it, the readings he was getting were normal at first, then they bottomed out. And no creature, alien or otherwise, would dare step inside. There. Found it. Oh boy. That's a problem. First, it's in the middle of the frontier, which we already expected. No problems there, but the usual tussling with alien wildlife. But the empty nest is a cave right in the middle of Shawgang territory. Same outlaws who held up Galbank. Criminal groups in Aquila always find a way. But they usually have to keep on the move to avoid the Ashta. Well, it could just be a coincidence, as the cave we want happens to be where the Shaw gang runs around. But something doesn't feel right. Well, just remember, it's about the artifact, not them. Hurting bad guys puts a smile on your face, that's a bonus. Let's get to that cave. Yeah, some people go their whole life without this. All right, this is Shawgang territory, and they're usually not willing to talk. Be ready. Another day, another bad guy. So long.
One down!
Never wise to be in my way. Looting the dead ain't glamorous, but it sure is profitable. Come back here! Nothing gets by me. Sometimes I feel sorry for them. Well, sometimes. This feels like old times.
Systems.
You mess with me? Never mess with a code. Looks like a smuggler den. Warren nest? Or whatever you call it, smugglers are near. us, right? Even smugglers might take a shot at you if you invade their turf.
You should be the one dying! Ah! Ah! Something's close. Something's out there. Somewhere. You like caves? I like caves. Honestly, I might love caves. Is that weird?
Let's get going. Won't lie. My heart stopped for a beat when you passed out. I'm glad you're still with us. Next time. Smugglers use caves like this everywhere. Sometimes you get lucky and find the damnedest things around.
I think that's far enough. Hate to put a hole in the head of Akila's own prodigal son. Least not before we've had a word.
You must be Shaw.
What I am is disappointed. Samco in the flesh, and he's peddling around the frontier with the has-beens of Constellation. Now you got past my crew, who I pay quite handsomely, I might add. Grabbed something from that weird cave. Probably whatever's been keeping the Ashta away. So, I'm down one hideout. Now, let's talk about what all that's worth to me. Your lives, your credits. One or the other, really. Oh, really? Let's hear it. Huh. The Shaw Gang's name in print outside a wanted poster does sound nice. Always good to know someone who can keep their mouth shut. Nobody wants that. I'm still willing to talk. Fine. Get the hell out of here before I change my mind. I see you again. You're dead.
Boss, it's the Ashta.
You. This is your fault! You better lend us a hand! Show some hustle! I liked him anyway! I guess I owe you something for dealing with the Ashta. Take it and get lost.
weren't